everyone, and welcome to our compassionate chat. I'm Janice Coughlin from My Place Home Care, and I am joined today by Heidi Beanie, who's also from My Place Home Care. We had a technical issue, and so we are now doing our show now. So we are here today. So basically, the compassionate chat is really about getting to know people in the home care industry, right? And so, Heidi, why don't you tell people about what you do with My Place Home Care? We can start there, what we do with them.
Office manager at My Place Home Care. And a majority of my time is spent in contact and with our caregivers. I work on ensuring that their schedules are met and they have the schedules and clients that they are looking for. But mostly it's connecting with our caregivers and being a support for them. As we are a home care company, most of our clients do live in their own homes. We do have some that live in long-term or in retirement homes, but we're here to ensure that our clients can stay as independent and live in their own home as long as possible. So with our caregivers going into private homes, there is no meeting place for them. There is no central location. We all office employees, restaurant, and there's all these industries where you all gather together and you have that support. Well, in home care, you don't, because you're going into homes by yourself. So my main role is to ensure that our caregivers feel supported, whatever they do, wherever they go, that they know that they can call me at any hour of the day. If they're working an overnight shift and something happens, I'm going to be there for them. So while my title may say office manager, I really just feel that I am our caregiver support network. So that's kind of what I do.
Which you do very well. So, and I'm the human resources manager. And so I do the hiring and all of that stuff, and also there for support because, we value our workers. And so I've been in the industry now for 25 years, 20 years, somewhere in there, not to age myself, but went in right after university as a home support worker in the field. So, I think it's valuable that I have that experience and that, it allows me to be more empathetic because it's a difficult job that personal support workers do. And I think that that's one thing that is valuable actually because all of our office staff has spent time in the field in one way or another. And I know that you had an experience with that last year.
I did. Well, earlier this year, we had a client, whose caregiver had to leave because of family issues, personal issues, and our client needed help. So I went. I went once a week, and I would spend 4 hours with her, and I helped with taking into medical appointments and all this sort of thing. And I am so glad that I did it because leading up to this job and seeing a client for the first time, I have been in the restaurant industry, both back of house, front of house. I've done bartending, and I've also worked in warehouses and as a supervisor in a warehouse. So I'm used to being around people, and as a bartender, you listen to people's problems. That's what you do. I mean,
it's not a myth, folks.
It is not. Right? The visual of a bartender cleaning a glass with a white towel and talking to somebody and commiserating and listening to their problems is real. It's real. I mean, I used to work the day shift at one bar, and there would be the same five people would come in not every single day, but for the most part, they would come in during their lunch hour or whatever. And I mean, I'm still friends with one of them on Facebook because
we do get attached.
You do, right? Yeah, you do. And I mean, we did Christmas presents for each other, and I mean, it's so easy to get attached, and this job is like that,
It is.
you know, because you
Yeah.
are seeing people at their best and their worst,
Hmm.
and you're there for them. And I think so. I started with the company in this position in April of 2023, and I was so nervous going to the client's house for the first time. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. What am I
Can
doing?
you, just to clarify, she was going as companion, folks, right?
Yeah, I'm
So,
not a PSW.
yeah.
I was going as companion only,
Yeah.
so no personal care. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? And it wasn't easy, but it was
Rewarding.
so rewarding, and it was just really easy to slip into this role of being there for somebody for no other reason but you want to be.
Hmm.
I wanted to be there for her, and I saw this client for 4 months, and we were able to find a couple of caregivers, so she has the more help she needed, and they're wonderful. And I still randomly text them, going, say hi to her for me, because
We do get
that connection
attached.
is there. You
Yeah.
do, you
Yeah.
do, and I appreciate it more and more, and what our caregivers are going through on a daily basis.
Well, I
So,
think it really, for me, I mean, I started in the field when I
mhm.
started 20 years ago, and um, you see so many different people, so many different ways of living, so many different um, beliefs and home systems. I know it sounds funny, but everybody has their own way of doing things, right? And so we have to be really flexible and empathetic and all of that stuff going into people's homes. It's just part of the job. And so the people that do this job are pretty incredible, really. Um, it's because they have to be skilled, way more skilled than when I was doing it. And for me, it was more. Um, when I first started, it was like household care more, right? Nurses were doing the work that the PSWs are doing now, and the industry has just shifted um, over the years, so that the PSWs are doing a lot more of the personal care, and that wasn't the case when I was in the field. Um, it became the case, I guess, as I was just as I was transitioning. But the care that's given now is high level. Like, so the workers now, they have to have good skills. They have to be able to communicate well with the client. They have to be compassionate people, or they just can't do this job. So I always, our human, of course, I'm human resources. So our humans are the most important part, but they're the most important part of any business. But particularly in this business, it's super important who the humans are, because
Have humans on our team.
we do.
have
We're
we have excellent humans on our team. They are hardworking. They are so compassionate, so caring, have a love of what they do. We have one caregiver whose goal is to make their clients smile. They have to smile at least once while they're visiting them. That's his goal. And he makes it happen, and I think
and
it's
that's
wonderful.
and that's the rewarding part. Like when you
Is it?
leave a client and you know that you've made them smile, or you've made a difference for them in their day, that's the part that's super rewarding, doing this job. And the nice part about and that's the nice part about home care, because you actually have more time to do that, right? When you're working in residence or in long-term care, you're you don't have as much time in your day, right?
Have a lot more people that need care. That's what's wonderful about what we do, and our um, our mantra. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but but the relationship between the caregiver and the client is what is so important to us, and that's why we do slightly longer uh, appointments. Ours are 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and it's worth it because that relationship is built a lot quicker. And we do specialize in dementia care, and so that extra time, that length of time, that consistent caregiver helps develop that routine for a client with dementia, and it just makes it a little easier for them. And I think that's really, really important.
Well, and I think that relationship's important for the absolutely for the client, but it's also really important for the workers. You know, if they know their clients, they can feel much more accomplished in what they're doing and feel confident in, yes, I know this client likes their egg made this way, you know, and their favorite color is this. So when I'm there, I'm going to try and make sure I get them in that color of shirt. Or, you know, it's those little things that make a difference. Oh,
We have some very intuitive caregivers too. I
yeah,
find that they can see the need, the companionship level as well, and really be able to um, pull the client out of their shell. And we have one who the client loves playing piano, and the caregiver is also learning how to play piano. They play piano together.
it's
Like,
awesome.
perfect is that? I mean, what a great thing to do when you're with somebody and you guys get to play piano and they can teach you and you can learn so many things. um, Games. We have a lot of caregivers who English is their second language, so they get to learn how to spell crazy words because they're playing Scrabble or bananagrams. When I first started, I had a caregiver who is has moved on to become went to school for becoming a nurse, which I think is fantastic and very proud of her.
Amazing.
But she also was saying how she has learned so much because she plays bananagrams with the client every single day.
Yeah.
So there's
Well, then that's great for the client. That's great for the client too, because they feel like they are helping.
especially if they've been a teacher, when their job was a teacher and now they get to teach again. And you know I think it's great. The other thing that I find with that helps with the 3-hour shifts that we do is the family members of the client. They really get that time, that respite, but also with us being there, it allows them to have that original relationship of parent and child, or grandparent and grandchild, or aunt and uncle, whatever the relationship was. They can take out the caregiver aspect for a short period of time and just be able to be the
Family.
relationship that they were. But yeah, they can just be family.
Yeah.
And that's a huge responsibility for a lot of family caregivers, is that the relationship with their parent has changed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that is difficult, you know.
it's very
Uh,
difficult.
but you know, that is part of the beauty of this industry, is that we can help restore relationships, right?
Yeah,
Through communication,
exactly.
through understanding and compassion, and you know, all of that stuff. Um, I've found it to be very rewarding over the years, for sure, even in different roles as I've gone through. Um, you know, having been in the field, we started talking about this, how it gives us that unique perspective, right? And I think as managers, us understanding that is key to moving into helping our workers not feel isolated, right?
I I'm a trustworthy person, I guess you could say. And I appreciate all the caregivers that work on our team, because I know when something happens, I know we have such amazing people who have strong integrity and responsibility, that when something happens, I can support them. Yeah, take
Yeah,
the time if you need it. And it's in this world right now, there is so much against, like you see on TikTok and Facebook Reels, how to work in a business in a Fortune 500 company and all these things, and how workers are feeling like they're being taken advantage of. And I watch these and I think, okay, I'm never going to make sure, I'm always going to make sure that that our team feels like they're heard and they're listened to and they have the respect. And I think we're doing really well with that. At least some of the comments I've gotten from our caregivers, they're very happy. So I will take it.
Yeah. Well,
But
one of
I
the
do,
comments that we had was that it's like working with family, which is awesome.
I've had comments that we are very supportive, which is totally a goal for us, and communication. If anything, I can't stress it enough. Like if there's something going on in your life, you don't need to tell me details, but let me know something's going on. And this is when the compassion comes out, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to take time. You need to take time. I mean, your life, your like as a caregiver, your family, and your own being is the most important thing, because if you're struggling elsewhere, you can't be the caregiver that you want to be.
Right.
So I think
Well, and I think
communication and support is really important.
that goes for our clients' caregivers. They're their family members and stuff, right? If they're really stressed because they're trying to juggle too much, that's where we can go in and help reduce that stress level,
Exactly.
which is great, right? That's if we can help reduce people's stress levels, everybody's healthier and happier. And so that's another rewarding part of this industry, I think, in terms of that. So just as an aside, the Heidi's mic is going a little bit in and out, so we'll just be sure that we're.
Sorry.
So we apologize for that. Technical
It's
difficulties today. It's a day. That's all. So, yeah. So, what interested you in coming in to work in this industry?
Well, my parents are getting to an older age, and I have been paying attention more to that, more so since I started working here, because it's very eye-opening when I am getting information about potential clients and it's the same year my parents were born.
Yeah.
So coming into this role, I was looking for a change. I was looking for something that would have meaning, that would matter, that would
Mm-hmm.
make me happy to go to work every single day. And it's been a long time since I've had a career or a job that would allow me to be happy going into work. And I find that, yes, there are very stressful moments in this job. I mean, we're dealing with people all the time, so
Yeah.
it's always going to be stressful moments. But because of the support that I have with the office team and the caregivers and our clients, it's not it's a brief moment of stress.
Yeah.
So I was just looking for something that I could feel and be my whole self in. And I find um, in this company, I don't have experience with other healthcare companies, but in this company, I found exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. I remember your interview. That was one of the things we discussed was you wanted a job that brought meaning to your life.
Yeah,
And I think that's important for everybody. And I think even our field staff, the personal support workers and stuff, that's what they want too, is a job that brings meaning to their life, that they can feel like they're making a difference. And I know that's certainly what drew me to the industry years ago. For myself, I started volunteering with seniors when I was young. Um, my granny was like my best friend, and so she would volunteer actually at St. Pat's Home, and so I would go with her. When I was like, I don't know, young teenager or whatever, 12, 10. I think I may have started around 8 or 10 going. And then, by the time I got a little bit older, I was volunteering with the recreation department, and, a little bit older, I was in the tea room, that sort of thing. So, I'd always sort of worked with seniors. And then right out of university, I was looking for something that was daytime hours. So at the time, like I said, the industry has changed a fair bit. And at the time, it was, a lot of daytime stuff. It was more sort of the household management of the place. And so that was what I was looking for. It was something that was daytime. I had been working in retail and restaurant and stuff too through university.
Many nights.
And I was like, time for a change. And I loved it once I got in. I started in the field and was doing that, and then I ended up doing scheduling, and then moved into management and stuff after that. And it's been an amazing ride through all of that, and I have learned so much in this industry. It's amazing. It really is. It definitely has changed over the years, right? Like we've had government changes, which impacts all of us, all of the agencies along the way. And, I've worked for, I guess, 4 other agencies over the years, including like the government agency, which was CCAC at the time. And now it's Ontario Home Care? Health at Home. Okay. They've changed their branding a few times since. So, but yes, so, I used to do contract management with them and all of that sort of thing in one of the other positions I was in. So it's been, it's been a fun ride for sure. Very rewarding, very, I never get bored in home care. That's just not what it's about. You don't get bored. There's lots of change, lots going on, right?
Well, and I mean, this year there has been some changes as well, legislatively, and there are temporary help agencies, which My Place Home Care falls under this title. We are now required to hold a license through the province. So we are in the approval stage right now.
Which, by the way, is where most people are at this point, because they have a backlog. So,
well,
we're right where we're supposed to be.
Every single company that falls under this legislation to apply and submit by one date, you're gonna have a backlog. All gonna come to the last minute, right?
Yeah, so there's a backlog.
There is a backlog, which is where we are right now. But we're doing everything that we're supposed to do, and we follow the rules. We're pretty stringent when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, that is something that I mean. There's so many legislative things in this industry, right? Healthcare. You're dealing with people's health, so it's something that's important to be. So we make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's and all that stuff along the way.
Responsibility, which is right here.
Yes.
On my list.
Compassion, integrity, responsibility. Yep.
That's who we are.
I love the fact she's got that right behind her desk, don't you? I think it's awesome. So yeah, so we've, it's a fascinating industry, and the people are key. If I could say 2 things that are key in our industry, it's people and communication.
Yes, 100%. I agree. And our team is amazing. Every team member I am happy to talk to. If I can talk to them every day, that's great, but they're busy working, so I can't bother them.
So we chat instead. So
we talk for 30 minutes every second Wednesday of the month.
That's right. I'm here. So that is just to give an overview of what we're doing. This is like the first of compassionate chats. And so these are going to be much more like casual chats where we're going to come on, we're going to bring in some caregivers and people in the industry to talk about what the industry is like and what do they like, what do they not like, how do they manage themselves in this industry, how do they time manage, like all of those kinds of things is what this kind of chat is about. Sorry?
What do they do for self-care? Because
Yeah.
when you're giving yourself to people 9 to 10, 12 hours a day, what do you do to help yourself? Because that's just as important as helping others.
So what do you do, Heidi?
What do I do?
Yeah. Because we need to do self-care too, right? I do mindfulness and stuff like that, and
yeah.
you know, make sure that I'm
a
getting
baker.
enough sleep and all of that stuff. So
I like to bake or cook.
Yeah.
I did go to school for culinary arts, which is completely opposite of what I'm doing now, but I did go to school for culinary arts, so I do like baking. I'm a cake decorator as well. So I kind of do that as that's my little me time. I get to spend the day in the kitchen, and everyone leaves me alone.
So we all need that downtime, right?
We do.
I think that's important.
Time management and not overscheduling people, and being mindful of our caregivers' off hours is also something that's very important, because everyone has the right to not have to talk about work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, so that's important. I think doing the self care for, um, I mean, we help our clients do their self care, but it's important that we encourage the workers to do their own self care and that sort of thing as well, and to make sure everybody's trained and has all the skills and tools that they need. Right.
The training, we offer additional training, and we do an annual the annual training of usual of policies and procedures and that sort of thing, so everyone's up on that. But we also have dementia care for our dementia training, for our caregivers, and because it's always changing, it is an annual, hopefully every 6 months, but everyone's schedule is very different. But we want to encourage our caregivers to always better themselves and always do more. So training is really important, and allowing them the time to do the training is important. So yeah, it's I want our team to be happy to go into work.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the whole management team. That's kind of that's what we want, for our caregivers and for ourselves, right? So we all work together well, and I think it's evident because of the results and stuff, which is nice. You know, I worked for a lot of agencies, and this is where I'm happiest. So yeah, I know I sound like I'm like campaigning, right, for the, for the company,
It's
but
not
I do.
a hiring
I just
video.
believe it's not a hiring video. I'm just sharing from the
video.
heart. I'm sharing from the heart, but it's yeah, it's a great industry to be in, and so I'm really looking forward to doing more of these, the compassionate chats. And if you check out our channel, the last Friday of every month, we will be doing what's called compassionate conversations, and that will be bringing experts to talk about fields, to talk about their field of study, which will vary depending on the month. We're going to be bringing experts for things like fall prevention and dementia and, you know, heart disease and all sorts of stuff. We're going to bring in experts for all sorts of things, much like we've had a couple already. And last time was about retirement planning and that sort of thing. And so, you know, I'm really excited to have conversations with these people, because I think it's going to be fascinating, and to be able to bring it to all of you, and in a way that is fun, because we want to make sure we're having fun.
This month, our compassionate conversation is about fall prevention, as November is fall prevention month. So we have a fitness educator and a lady who works for Build Able, I think it's pronounced Build Able, which helps with reconstruction on a house to ensure that falling doesn't happen, and all that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to speaking to both of them at the end of the month. So join us for that.
Stay tuned, folks. And
Sure.
it's been great chatting with you today, Heidi, as always. And I think we could probably chat forever, but we have come to the end of our half hour. And so, final words?
I love my job. And I love the people that I work with, and I think it's fantastic, and all our clients are great. So, I'm really happy in the field I've chosen.
Awesome. And we're absolutely happy to have you. So excited to have you continue with us and excited to share more information with all of you as well. So stay tuned, come on back, and see us next month. See you soon. Take care.